All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. I want us to shift gears and shine the spotlight on one of the ecosystem, or rather agricultural ecosystem that is often overlooked, and some would say even overworked, some underestimated, some not really understood. I'm talking about the donkeys. The welfare of the donkeys. I know wahenga waamini, they say asante ya punda ni mateke, but I mean that today we are taking a look at the welfare of donkeys, and we just want to understand why is it so important that we talk about donkeys this morning. And it's not something that we do quite often, but in studio with me I have Kenneth Kaido just right next to me. He's the Executive Director, Farming Systems Kenya, alongside Dr. Sylvester Wahu, that is a veterinary surgeon and advocacy officer, Farming Systems Kenya, and they'll be telling us more about donkeys, why we need to take care of donkeys. And they already started by demystifying the wahenga saying that asante ya punda ni mateke. Wameniuliza nani amesema. So good morning, gentlemen, and karibuni sana to TV47. This is Morning Cafe.
Thank you very much, and for the nice welcome.
Let's start from that very point. What's so interesting about donkeys?
First of all, is to demystify the notion that asante ya punda ni mateke. It's good also to know that asante ya punda ni riziki, because we have had a lot of people who have been able to earn income out of the donkey, and also propelling the industry even in terms of agriculture as a result of the donkey. So a donkey is one of a very key resource even when it comes to issues agriculture that is often overlooked. Yeah.
When you talk about people earning income from these donkeys, and we often know that people in the rural areas specifically, most of them, they use donkeys for, say, transportation. They use donkeys for the replacement of, say, machinery and what the human would do. Talk about water, akienda pale ku fetch water, now the donkeys would do that. Then how exactly do these donkeys come to play in terms of money making?
Well, we have a lot of owners who are able to use donkeys in a number of activities. We are having those that are able to use the donkeys for drawing waters and selling to households. There are those that are also able to use the donkeys to help ferrying some goods and even timber. We have also those who use the donkeys also to even transport agricultural produce, even in farms. When we have a lot of farmers who are doing harvesting, they use these donkeys. And more so in the rural areas, you find that even in terms of infrastructure, it is not very well developed. And the donkeys are the ones that are used even in the most not good areas, or we can say the not more areas that we don't have infrastructure, the non-accessible areas. The donkeys are the ones that are used. So through this use, you find that the owners also earn. Such that for those that are using for to draw water for people in households, they are able to go to a water point, get water, take to people, and they are able to earn. There are those that are using it now in terms of transport. And it's not just mega money, it's quite some money. We have had a research that was done by Carol, and from a donkey, one donkey, we were able to see that at least the owners are able to make at least 1,000 per day. Yeah, so it is also a source of employment.
And before we bring in Sylvester, because whatever you're talking about is quite interesting. So donkeys are primarily just working animals, like the way we take care of cows. Like yao ni kukula tu na kutoa maziwa. But you're talking about donkeys, they have to go fetch water, they have to, come into play in areas where hakuna magari. So can't we just breed donkeys the same way we will do the rest of other dairy animals?
I would say that that's something that we are also encouraging farmers to do breeding. But in terms of science, and maybe Dr. Sylvester will be able to expound on that, the anatomy of donkeys in terms of supporting in reproduction is not something that is quite easy, whereby even in terms of technology that has not been, it has not been possible, because a donkey is one of the animals that we have not have a breakthrough in terms of even the AI, that's the artificial insemination. But also in terms of breeding, one of the key challenge we have is that because of the role of the donkey, you find that the gestation period is also quite long. It's almost
14 months.
14 months. And also because of the nature of the work, you find that even in terms of conception, it may take long. So that is also a challenge. But we are really encouraging farmers through even training, so that then they can be able to take good care of the donkeys, because the key thing has also been the issue of the welfare, because people have had notions that the donkey, what you just need to do is just to feed the donkey and have it work.
Yes.
Work, and no rest.
Now the question is, are they even being well fed? Dr. I would have started with this, but talk to us about the status of donkey farming in Kenya. Time and time again over the years, we've heard of calls to have the deteriorating status of the donkey welfare be elevated to a policy priority. Then as of 2025, what is the status of donkey farming in our country?
Thank you for that invitation. Currently in Kenya, we do not have commercial farming of donkeys currently in Kenya. But in the rural communities where donkeys are owned, maybe farmers have 3 to 10 donkeys just for their household usage. So currently I know that there are advancements being made to try and do donkey farming and breeding in Kenya, so that we can be able to catch up with the dwindling populations of donkeys in the Republic of Kenya. Yes, at 2019 census, we realized that the donkey population was really declining, and that is why there were so many calls to the elephant in the house, or currently in Kenya, about the donkey hide trade and donkey slaughter. So as an organization as Farming Systems Kenya, where we work with rural communities, the donkey owning communities, we emphasize so much on welfare, protecting the donkeys that we currently have within our communities, so that the populations do not dwindle. Yes.
So we're talking about donkey farming being just domiciled in the rural areas, and this is a belief that we've had time and time again, that donkey farmers, or farming rather, is for the low-income earning communities.
But I wouldn't say that it is for the low-income earning communities, because in the urban setting, we have the infrastructure, we have the vehicles. But the setting that we are talking about, where the donkeys thrive, are those rural communities where infrastructure, the roads, we have poor road network. And that is why we find the donkeys come in handy to support the livelihood of those rural communities. It's not that it is domiciled in the rural setting, but it is because of the nature of the rural setting, that is why we find donkeys so relevant to those communities owning donkeys in those.
So that is a misconception that we have about donkeys as a nation. So what will it take for us as the people of Kenya to just accept, donkey farming and commercialize it and make it just as important as we have made, say, cows? Right now we are seeing horses are also quite prominent, and we value them so much. But what will it take us as a nation to now treat donkeys with the same value as we treat these other dairy animals?
Maybe to talk on that, it is not about the issue of commercialization. It is about the issue of realizing the value of donkeys. Donkeys are valuable animals in our communities, but their input is rarely recognized. That they contribute to our GDP, but we don't recognize their input in that sector. For example, in Nyandarua, you'll get that where we have poor infrastructure, that is where donkeys are used to carry the milk to the market. But we do not quantify the input of these donkeys to the economy. So donkeys are already contributing to the economy, but their value is not being quantified or being recognized nationally.
Yeah.
And so our rally call this morning that we need to see the value of the donkey and quantify and put resources to take care of the donkeys so that they are not eliminated and the rural economies do not collapse.
So that we can also do away with the Asante Apunda ni Mateke.
Yeah, and also just to come in is that even if we look at the value chain, even the dairy value chain, one thing that you'll get to realize is that a farmer will be praised, or a cow will be praised because of the milk production. And a farmer will also be recognized because of having the cows. But the donkey will never be recognized as one of the animals that is helping in terms of supporting, in terms of bringing the feeds, the water. And it's
For
also
the cows.
For the cows. Whereas it's the same cow when it's drinking the water. We are not able to realize that it's the donkey that has done that. So the donkey is an unsung hero who is rarely recognized. Neither is his contribution even recognized, even in research or even in terms of whatever we do. It will never be recognized.
And that brings me to that point. Donkeys have not been researched on in a long time. And especially, and we will agree that as Kenyans, we do not know much about donkeys. And ulikuja ukaniambia, before we started this conversation, people are asking you, donkeys, why? What's so interesting about them? Then why are we neglecting research on donkeys? Who's dropping the ball?
Maybe, let me just say, it could be the issue of mindset and where we are coming from and what has been the notion. Because I guess we were raised up with the proverb or the methali ya kwamba Asante Apunda ni Mateke. I have seen some slogans even in placards ya kwamba punda hajasoma lakini hakosi kazi. There are all those notions, and it's all about the mindset, such that we have even had some myths concerning the donkey, that even when a donkey is sick, you need just to go put it in a forest and let it die, because there is no veterinary attention for the donkey. Well, if you carry a donkey, it will laugh until it will die. All these are notions. And what we are saying is, and really emphasizing, is the issue of the mindset change to all the people, even the public and even the donkey owners, towards the donkey. Yeah.
Talk to us about now the veterinary. Is it veterinary or veterinary?
Yes.
Which one is it?
Veterinary.
Veterinary attention that you give these donkeys. You know, Kenneth has mentioned about the myth around donkeys that when they die, when they're sick, you take them somewhere to just die. But what do you do step by step to ensure that, you know, a sick donkey can just retain their life?
From where I sit from the veterinary profession, I wouldn't say that donkeys are that neglected, because in the veterinary curriculum in the universities that offer veterinary medicine, donkeys are being studied. Donkey welfare, donkey health is in the curriculum. So the veterinarians who graduate from the vet schools that are 2 in Kenya, that are currently churning out graduates every year, we already have that.
2 institutions?
Yes.
For donkey, only 2?
Not for donkey, but for veterinary medicine. That is Egerton University and the University of Nairobi.
There's a gap there. In the whole country, 2 institutions?
Yes. So
okay.
I think donkeys are receiving, because that donkey welfare and donkey health is within the curriculum. So I wouldn't say that donkey health has been neglected. But currently, from where I sit, we also work with the animal health service providers within different counties in Kenya, just trying to build their capacities in regards to donkey health and donkey welfare, to ensure that they have the adequate capacities to handle the equine or the donkey. Yes.
Can you talk to us about the socio-economic contribution of the donkeys in the day-to-day or in the dairy value chain? Dr. had alluded to it earlier, but he didn't go, into details about, the socio-economic contribution of these donkeys in our GDP.
Yes, in fact, if we look at the dairy sector in Kenya, it accounts to 4% of the national GDP. And out of that, the donkey is a very key animal that also supports this value chain, because from the farm, the donkey is the one that is helping these farmers in terms of transportation of their feeds to the animals, water. And also, in these hard-to-reach areas, we have challenges whereby even motorbikes are not able to get to the farmers. And you remember, we have a lot of post-harvest losses. So in regard to the dairy sector, if milk does not get into the aggregation areas or to the cooler plant at the right time, then farmers will incur losses. And these donkeys are really fueling in terms of supporting the sector by ensuring that they are able to take this milk from the farmers to the aggregation areas. And through these, even farmers are able to make more, because as compared to maybe the motorbikes, whereby a farmer may be using maybe 300 in a day, they are able just to agree with these owners who are able to aggregate and take the milk to the aggregators at a cheaper price. So it is one of the key importance of these donkeys. Yeah.
And Dr.
Just to add on that, if you look at the cost of using a donkey to take the milk to the aggregation centers and any other means, say a motorbike or a car, you realize that if you have to move a considerable quite distance to take milk to the market, the amount of money that you will spend on the donkeys as compared to the other means of transport, the other mechanized or well-developed means of transport will cost you more, but the donkeys will cost you less, which means that more money into the pocket of the farmer. Yes.
Talk to us about the existing challenges hindering the growth and survival of donkeys in the country.
What I will say that the challenges that are hindering the growth of or the thriving of the donkeys in the rural settings or where they are kept. One is that you realize that farmers work with the donkeys, but at the point of seeking medical attention for the donkeys, they don't do that so oftenly. You realize that if the dairy animal is sick, the farmer will quickly run or call the local veterinarian or animal health service provider to attend to the dairy animal. But until the donkey is completely down, that is when they seek medical attention. But this challenge is continually being addressed by ensuring that we continually educate the farmers to ensure that they have that medical or veterinary service seeking behavior so that they are able to take care of the donkeys at the earliest time opportunity and ensure that they are at optimal health for optimal production. The other issues is welfare challenges. You realize that these donkeys carry different types of loads. So there are times you get donkeys that are bruised, they have wounds, and this we have continually helped to address through the areas where we work to ensure that the wounds are addressed, but we also enlighten the farmers to prevent the occurrence of these wounds so that the donkeys are not in any form of pain, they are healthy and supporting the rural economies. Additionally, is on feed. You realize that most farmers will tend to work with the donkeys throughout the day. But now later in the evening, they release the donkeys to go and seek or search food for themselves. But we have continually worked with our farmers to ensure that the way they provide feed to the dairy cattle and other livestock, they ensure that there is adequate feed for the donkey, just the same way they do to other animals, and bring the attention of the farmer to the donkey just as they are doing to other animals. Yes.
From where you sit, have you been able to reach every donkey farmer, to just bring them this education that donkeys should just be taken care of as other dairy farms, other dairy animals rather?
Yes, I would say that in the counties where we work, we have done considerable quite amount of work. We work with donkey owning communities. We do deliberate community sensitization meeting and trainings for these farmers to ensure that they have the rightful knowledge to help their donkeys or work with their donkeys. So I will say that in the communities where we work, we have done considerable amount of work. I would say 70% we have been able to reach to the donkey owners. But you realize that the nature of the terrains that we work, some of them are so remote. So I know with time, this information will be cascaded to other farmers or other donkey owners. Yes.
And Ken, I don't know if you want to chime in on that, the existing challenges that are there, and also addressing the illegal theft and slaughter that a lot of farmers are decrying, even as you speak to us about the challenges that exist from your own point of view.
Yeah, I guess one of the challenges that we have also encountered is the issue of donkey theft. And the issue of donkey theft started emerging in the year 2016, 2018, when we had the licensing of the 4 slaughterhouses, because we had 4 slaughterhouses that were licensed in 2016 to 2018. But out of that, we had a lot of complaints from farmers. And because of the theft cases and the illegal slaughter that was happening, and the farmers were able to have demonstration and made petitions to the then CS for Agriculture. And we had in 2020, the license were revoked.
Right.
After the revoking, then we had the issue of now the illegal slaughter in the bushes. So, and this illegal slaughter in the bushes is being fueled by demand for the skin for a product called Ijiao in China. So with this, then we have had quite a number, a challenge, which is also has been a public health issue. And also in the government then in 2024, the government had a rapid response initiative because of the illegal slaughtering that was happening in the bush. It was being coordinated by the Ministry of Interior. We had the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Health. And out of that, we had 100 days whereby that rapid response results initiative was taking place. And out of that, we had very successful results because we had a lot of disruptions, interception of even meat. That is the time when we had a lot of meat confiscated. This is illegally slaughtered meat, carcasses being intercepted and all that. So that has been quite a challenge, and it is quite a challenge, but we can say the numbers have really gone down because of the coordinated multi-stakeholder engagement and also the support from the government. These numbers have gone down. But the key thing has been now the issue of the illegal slaughter in the bushes, where even now the meat is getting into our plates disguised as beef. So these are the challenges that we currently are facing.
You know, Kenyans ordinarily don't consume donkey meat on a day-to-day basis. Is it safe meat? You're saying that sometimes, you know, it makes its way into our plates unknowingly.
Well, you see, it is not safe, considering that this meat is not being inspected. I guess we have very clear guidelines on issues to do with the meat. They need to be inspected. But then this meat is being slaughtered out there in the bush. And even when you are eating it, you are not eating it as donkey meat. You're eating it as beef because it's being disguised. You never know.
Actually, what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst that could happen if you're talking about meat that is not inspected, donkey meat that is not inspected, making its way in my plate? Then what's the worst that could happen?
I would term that as a ticking time bomb. Because any meat that is not inspected, we have said that because these guys have resorted to bush slaughter, it means that this meat is being prepared in the most unsanitary condition you can ever imagine. So even if the meat was had no any other diseases, just that environment where it is being prepared renders it unsafe for public consumption. But in this era, there is the issue of zoonotic diseases, diseases that can be transmitted from human to animals and animals to humans. So if you are consuming meat that is not inspected by a professional, it means that you are at the risk of contracting zoonotic diseases. And also it is just a public health risk, because meat entering into the food chain that is uninspected is a public health threat. Yes.
And do we have enough labs in this country that can test these donkey products for safety and, of course, traceability?
The capacity we have in the Republic of Kenya is sufficient to do this. We have labs, regional veterinary laboratories in Kenya that have the capacity to do that. We have our major laboratory at Kabete, we have one at Karatina, we have one in Eldoret, we have one in Garissa, and other laboratories that are able to do public health tests or even DNA tests to determine that what is in the butcheries is donkey meat. So as a nation, we have the capacity to do that, and we have a capacity to, even before this meat gets into our food chain, we have, and I would say that there are professionals in place who are able to do the necessary checks to ensure that this meat or even the donkeys not get a place where they are slaughtered in the bushes, so that this meat do not get into the food chain.
Can are we utilizing this capacity as much as we should? From where you sit, we're talking about the capacity is there, but while the capacity is there to ensure that there is enough traceability for these products and, of course, to ensure their safety, then in one way or the other, this untested meat still makes its way into our homes. Then are we using this capacity as much as we should?
We appreciate the capacity that is there, but the key thing is the issue of the public knowledge and getting to understand, because one of the things that happens is that the public may not be aware of what they are consuming. So it's just a rallying call to our security agencies to also support in terms of their investigations, so that then we are able to arrest this matter even before it gets to the butcheries and all that. Because even with all the facilities, and you don't know the exact meat that you are eating, then the public will just continue consuming it as disguised as beef. So that's the major challenge that we have, and that's why we really need to sensitize even the public as we also head to the festive season, that they need also to be quite conversant. Dr. has talked about the zoonotic diseases. These are diseases that are transferable from the animal to humans. And it is a ticking time bomb, because if it so happens that we have a case of anthrax, and it so happens that this meat gets its own way to our plates, then it would be something that is also would be a public health issue. Yeah.
And you were talking about the ban of commercial donkey slaughterhouses. And it's interesting because we're talking about now there being illegal slaughter of these donkeys. Would you say that that ban has led to the increase in illegal slaughter of donkeys due to the demand of EGL, which you had earlier alluded to? Is it because there was a ban, or why is there a rampant increase in illegal slaughter?
I wouldn't say basically it's the ban. The key thing, the driving force, is the demand for the skins for EGL. In China, in 1992, China had about 11 million donkeys. And in 2003, this had dropped to 1.5 million. This can tell you the rate at which the country depleted its own donkey population. And now what they are doing is that they are now eyeing the African continents, which account 2/3 of the world's population, which is 53 million. That would mean around 36 million in Africa. So with this population in Kenya, that means in Africa, that means that they are now eyeing these donkeys in Africa for the EGR. So with this demand for these skins, then it is fueling now the illegal bush slaughter. Because one thing that we have also been able to observe is that we have been able to make interceptions of the meat. But for the skin, it has also been a bit tricky to intercept the skins. That tells you now about the way these, I would say, cartel have really organized themselves. It's almost a value chain, whereby we have somebody who is now taking the skin and another one now taking beef for people.
Everybody's scrambling for something.
Yeah.
Doctor, talk to us about some of the health challenges and concerns with regard to donkeys that, you know, we as Kenyans don't understand. Because again, at home, we just take care of sana sana ng'ombe, that one sana sana. But what are these health challenges that the donkeys go through as well?
Just before I answer that, I just want to quickly run through what Ken has said. Don't run for cheap things. If you see cheap meat, cheap is expensive. So as we go into the festive season, don't see cheap meat and run to it and think that probably you have gotten a golden opportunity to eat beef at your home. Labda niwe utakuwa umeangukiwa. So on the health challenges facing donkeys in the Republic of Kenya, just as I alluded earlier, is that much attention has been given to the dairy animals and the other animals, because for the dairy animals, you will see the milk and the immediate income. But the donkey is aiding in the other production sectors. So its value is not easily quantifiable. So you realize that most farmers will put health attention to the other dairy animals and not the donkeys. So if you went to even just a normal rural setting and ask, when last did you deworm your donkey? They will laugh and ask you, where did you hear that we deworm donkeys? And for instance, we work also in Bomet, and we work with farmers on the ground. When we introduced the issue of spraying donkeys to control ectoparasites, initially it was a tall order, but with time farmers are appreciating that even the donkeys get ectoparasites, and they also need to be dewormed just the other animals for the endo and ectoparasites. And even the common wounds, the rabies vaccinations to prevent rabies, we do concurrently to prevent rabies in the donkeys, and even just like in the other animal, the domestic dog. So I will say that donkeys require as much veterinary attention just like the other animals. Yes.
Just to come in and add is that we also have cases of overgrown hoofs, especially in high potential areas, whereby we have overgrown hoofs that even curl backwards. So, and we have people who are called farriers that do the trimming of those hooves to ensure that even in terms of mobility of donkeys, then it's more improved. So those are some of the key health concerns for the donkeys. That sometimes farmers would take it possibly as a deformity because they don't know, and to them it may be like kukata punda kwato aje, because even for those that would possibly feel that the hooves are overgrown, then they were also using some crude ways to do that. And that's why we come in and we are able to support them in terms of training and also link them to the right people and profession to do the work.
So what does that do to the donkey itself and to the farmer if it's operating, you know, with a grown hoof? Then what does that do to it?
Then it means in terms of the support of that donkey even to the farmer, it will not be as such, because even in terms of now culling the load will be quite impossible. So if possibly it may take time, you may lose money, and also you will also be subjecting the donkey into suffering. So it would be something that is also detrimental.
So
just to add on that, for the lovers of the donkeys, we say that the donkey is the hoof. So if the hoof is compromised, you don't have a donkey. It is the hoof that finally bears the load that the donkey is carrying. So when the hoof is overgrown or compromised, it means that you are on the verge of losing your donkey. And that is why Ken has said that we have those farriers that help us to do the trimming.
So on an overgrown hoof is a compromised hoof?
Is a compromise because even it will lead to even lameness. I don't know whether you have seen an overgrown hoof in your life. There are those that overgrows until real overgrown, until they curve back. They curve back. So the integrity, the walking of that donkey is compromised. The load-bearing capacity of that donkey will be compromised.
So how does it get to that point where it has an overgrown hoof? Is it age or is it the amount of work that it does? How does that hoof grow?
Now you realize that in areas that are wet, where there's that normal wear and tear, you realize that in areas like in Garissa, in Marsabit, the asal areas, the terrain is rocky. So there is that normal wear and tear of the hoof, so there is no need of trimming the hoof. But in areas like Nyandarua, here in Limuru, those areas are wet, the ground is smooth, so the wear and tear is not that so much. So you get that hoof tends to overgrow. And these are the regions where we have concentrated our farriers to ensure that they support the farmers, that we do not have this overgrown hoof.
Ken, let's talk about granular on enforcement. Once a donkey, or when a donkey has been stolen, because you brought up this point of illegal theft and slaughter, but what is the typical chain of response? How do they now get help after they've reported that a donkey has been stolen?
What we have encouraged our farmer is that whenever there is any case of theft, they should first of all report to the nearest police station and get have that registered in the occurrence book, so that then the security agencies can be able now to take it up. Because we have also been able to, at some point, there were times we would have cycles of these cases, and the key thing was farmers would not report because they were just thinking, a donkey. Maybe possibly if it was cattle, that is quite something, but then there was the donkey. In fact, there was a time when even at the station, police officers would smile, coming to a donkey. So, but with time, and also realizing the impact the donkey has on the livelihood of the people, they have come to understand its importance. So the key thing is that they are supposed to report to the nearest police station, whereby now investigation can be able to take up from there. But also our farmers also inform us, so that then we can also be able to work closely with the security agencies, so that then we can be able to see possibly how we can be able to help, and also just to follow up on the issues of the cases, how far it is, whether we have culprits, whether we have suspects, and ensure that then they are taken to court and brought to book.
Dr. Where do you think that the system most often break when it comes to these stolen donkeys? Say they've reported, but then they go to the police, and like Ken here says, sometimes police at a check say my donkey. Then at what point does this system often break for these donkey farmers?
First of all, I would appreciate that we have systems to take care of this concern. And most often at times, I would say from where I sit that the system that we currently have been supportive. The communities, the law enforcement agencies. However, as we have said, information can only be substantiated when it's acted upon. So if this information is given to the police station and that there is donkey theft or donkeys being moved illegally and it's not acted upon, it doesn't help. But we have also had situations where these matters end in the courts, in the courtrooms, where donkeys have been stolen, and we have sufficient evidence that these were stolen donkeys, even others slaughtered. We have confiscated carcasses. But you get that either the court processes at times take too long, or the cases at times just collapse. So I think from where I sit, the law enforcement agencies, we continue to work with them to ensure that they help us in apprehending the culprits, but also when we reach at the legal, in the legal battles in court, I think we continue to work with the judiciary and the people in the legal department to ensure that these cases go to the end, that the culprits involved in the theft and slaughter of donkeys are apprehended and charged as per the charges that we present for prosecution.
And Ken, I see you want to respond to that, but even as you do, I'll give you a chance to do so. What are you doing to help with tracing these lost donkeys? Because I know for some, there's a push for donkey identification, that is microchipping. But how are you doing that exactly as Farming Systems Kenya?
Yeah, so I know we have a partner that is piloting the issue of microchipping, so that then we can be able to have donkeys whenever they are stolen, then we can be able to trace them. But then it's also something that is on pilot, and it's something that once we are sure about it, then we can be able to deploy to more donkey farmers. I wanted to come in on the issue of the other maybe challenge in terms of the donkeys and the issue of the processes. You would find that whenever we have people who have been being charged for either having possession of the donkey meat, you would find the charges and the penalties are very punitive. The penalties are so low. In fact, because it's either 10,000 to 2,000 to around 10,000, and this is something that they are able to pay almost immediately. So there is a gap in terms of the laws which were there, because I guess the laws have been outdated considering when they were made, and our call is to Parliament to enact more stricter rules so that then we can be able to safeguard even these donkeys, because if we don't, then the donkey population will continue dwindling if we don't take action.
All right, Dr. I'd love to assume you're a member of the Kenya Veterinary Association, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's go back to the issue of commercial slaughter. You alluded to it earlier, but then 2020, the then Agriculture CS Peter Munyo, of course, banned the commercial slaughter of donkeys for export, and then government revoked licenses of some abattoirs, the 4 major abattoirs that you've also mentioned earlier that had been licensed. And then this ban was challenged in court in 2021. Then High Court quashed it, citing procedural reasons. But the reason why I asked if you're a member of Kenya Veterinary Association is because you're pushing for that same ban again on commercial donkey slaughter and skin export. So the question this time would be, what's different this time? What are you doing, or what are you presenting this time as the reason as to why you want this ban, such that High Court will not come again and then quash it?
Maybe if I go beyond that, currently in Africa, the call is that in the next 15 years, we have a 15-year moratorium that was signed by the AU, urging all African nations to stop the commercial slaughter and trade of donkeys in the next 15 years. Until then we can revisit that issue to see whether it is a feasible issue that can happen in the republics within Africa. And our neighbors, Tanzania, have worked so much towards it. They have banned all that. Kenya, we are still making the right steps in the right direction. I know Kenya is among the member states of the African Union, and we are pushing towards that agreement to ensure that we align with what AU determined last year in February, so that we are in tandem with what African Union is looking towards to end or to subside the commercial slaughter of donkeys. Because if this trend continues, a research stated by I think Karl Rock was saying that the last donkey that would have been slaughtered in the Republic of Kenya, Ken, was in 2023?
Yeah.
Yes. So we are making the right steps in the right direction. And even for KVA, I know KVA is a voice. And I know that through such strategic partnerships, I know we can combine these efforts. We are doing nothing different, but we are just aligning with what the African Union is talking about. And for our case here in Kenya, we are so much into it because it is the livelihoods of our people that we are talking about.
Right.
So we continue to urge all stakeholders, both in parliament, in county governments. I know that there are different policies, especially where we work in Nakuru County, where we currently now have the Animal Welfare Act that has already been enacted and is going to be printed in due time. We are also working with the counties of Narok and Bomet to see that there are things that even from the smallest state of governance, we have these laws that govern donkey welfare.
And speaking about the 15-year moratorium, Ken, of course, it restricts commercial donkey slaughter for the scheme. So what's at stake if Kenya fails to align with this particular continental direction?
That's a very good question, because I know our heads of, this was an agreement by the heads of state. So, and before they agreed, they had looked at all the pros and the cons. So I believe for Kenya, that may not be the direction, because the only thing that is remaining here in Kenya is to have that gazetted, which we really are calling up for the government to just gazette this ban and enforce what they agreed in the EU. But then if Kenya does not adhere to it, maybe the African Union are the ones who are bound maybe to take step maybe against Kenya. From where we sit, we may not know what will be the repercussions.
So what's your call to action as we wind up this discussion? Let's start with you, Ken.
My call to action is to call upon all stakeholders so that then we are able to safeguard the donkey and more so the livelihoods of the people. One thing that we have noted with the dwindling population, there have also been the increase in prices. So any theft cases means that farmers will have to go an extra mile to buy the donkey, because now even the prices have also escalated. And my call also is to people as we head to the festive season, let's ensure that we have nyama safe kwa plate.
Not cheap, safe. Dr.
Just to reiterate what Ken has said, is that we continue to call upon the stakeholders in counties where we have donkeys to consider ensuring that the welfare of the working donkeys is safeguarded, because this is a key livelihood asset for the communities where these donkeys are. Also is just to urge the public to be alert and continue giving us or giving relevant information that when you see donkeys being moved in masses in your community, just reach out to the nearest law enforcement agency, either the chief, and notify so that this can be put on notice, that we are able to track this illegal trade. But also just to probably the culprits who are involved in this trade. They are hurting the rural economies where these donkeys are vital. It hurt me the other day when I was at Bisil Market and I saw young foals in the market. I don't want to imagine that those foals were destined for illegal donkey slaughter. So my rallying call is that stakeholders remain vigilant, supportive, and that we work together towards safeguarding the donkeys.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. But before we go, is there a distinct taste that a donkey has that we can say, you know, he's saying nyama normal. This is not beef. This is a donkey.
I leave that to the veterinary profession. Because
talk to us about that.
It is, I wouldn't say that there is a distinct taste of donkey meat and normal beef. Ideally, it will be difficult even from an expert point of view to differentiate this. But there are a few characteristics that we can look at. But the definitive is just to probably sample for DNA and ascertain that this is donkey meat. But just in a nutshell, donkey meat tend to be dark red. Donkey meat is not too fatty. It is lean meat as compared to beef. And even the characteristics of the fat in the donkey meat and the beef are different. Also, it's alluded that donkey meat is tougher as compared to beef. And while you are cooking, I haven't personally tested this, but when you are cooking beef and donkey, there's a way the two behave. Yes. So as a parting shot, I would just say that remain vigilant, buy meat from trusted butcheries so that you don't get yourself into the trap of buying donkey meat. Don't go for the safest option, the cheapest option. Buy quality from reputable butcheries.
All right. And you see the song that we sang when we were young, nyama, 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 yapunda. Sio nyama. That is Dr. Sylvester Wahu, veterinary surgeon and an advocacy officer, Farming Systems Kenya, and Kenneth Gaitho, executive director, Farming Systems Kenya, speaking to us about the silent workforce, that is the value of the donkey in the dairy milk chain. They call it the unsung heroes supporting smallholder dairy farming. Thank you so much once again, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nimesema asante mara mia, but we're very grateful for you guys for coming.
Thank you for hosting us.
That brings us to the end of this segment. You're watching Morning Cafe. My name is Anne Odida. Good morning.